Hello, this is Fred from metalops.com and Metalops TV on YouTube in France, in the world. And we go to Ventura, like Ace Ventura, moving in California to see Warbringer for the new seventh studio album. It's thrash metal. And so, could you introduce yourself, please? What do you do in the band and what's your name for people who don't know you yet?
Well, yeah, we're really excited to put out Wrath and Ruin. We put out two singles so far, and a third's coming soon. This sucker comes out in like a week and a half. So, yeah, it's our seventh record, and the band's been around 20 years now. So, it's just wild to see that. So, thanks so much. It's good to be here. Yeah.
And so, you are the singer, and your name. So, your name is.
John Kevill.
Yeah. Alors, so thank you. So, are you in relation with Henry Cavill, Superman? Ta, ta, ta. No, Henry Cavill.
No, I never met him, but yeah.
It's not the same name. It's not the same, exactly the same name. But the name for us in French, it's the same
Kevill,
pronunciation.
Cavill, yeah.
Cavill.
Yeah, I never thought of that. They're spelled differently, but they do sound pretty similar, come to think of it. Yeah.
People make the jokes sometimes. No, no, make the jokes
No, I've
sometimes.
never heard that before. I've actually never heard that. Shows you what I know, but yeah.
Okay. So, so I wanted to know why did you choose when you founded the band in 2004, if I'm right, in California? The band was
Yeah.
founded in, yeah. Why did you choose Warbringer? Because nowadays, Warbringer in this period very hard between Europe, USA, Russia, Warbringer, it's not maybe a good name. You could say the peace bringer. Why did you choose Warbringer for the name of the band? What's
Well,
the
it's about everything. Yeah, so indeed, if it's not a good thing if warfare is brought to your lands, indeed, and in Europe, you guys know from your own history, indeed. And a lot of it's about that. I think kind of myself as a person when I learned about those 20th century European wars, that's the stuff I knew the most about.
yeah,
It's kind of horrifying stuff. Oh Jesus, they spent how many people? Like there's random battles in World War I where there's like 100,000 people die and nobody even hears about them, and those are like not even the big ones. It's crazy.
okay.
Um, so that's horrifying to me as a person to know that human civilization does that, and now we have nuclear weapons and modern,
Yeah,
guided missiles and all the stuff they have that's just terrifying.
yeah.
And so if you want to find the most evil thing in the world, it's that.
Okay. Ah, yeah,
So
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go. And this is a metal band, so embodying the most evil thing there is right there.
And for example, bands like Exodus, Slayer, War Ensemble Song, stuff like that, Chemical Warfare. It inspired you, as a
Yeah,
thrash metal
certainly.
head in the.
I think in thrash metal, the guitar sounds, some of the rhythms sound like a
Yeah,
machine gun, and it
yeah,
has that harshness and that,
yeah, yeah,
militaristic tempo and everything. So I think it's sonically a good fit. And if you're going to play this furious, angry music,
yeah,
you need themes that are appropriate. So I'm a pretty peaceful and kind guy, but like the band is
yeah,
supposed to embody evil and
yeah,
have this like grand epicness to it,
yeah,
kind of in a way as well. Like this freaking album cover you
yeah,
see
yeah,
behind you,
yeah,
and it seemed like a good name for that kind of thing.
yeah,
That's sort of where it's ended up is because made this name long ago, basically because it sounded evil and cool is the reason. And that's kind of the meaning it's taken on as I've had to be in this band now for 20 years and come
yeah.
up with stuff to write and, figure out what it's about artistically as we keep doing it.
Yeah, but to be careful to the parents. It's only music. Don't be careful. It's only music. In fact,
Well, yeah, and actually, I think generally the
the
all the
parents.
evilness stuff is my anger against that. I'm a good and kind person. I'm not like for
Yeah,
evil or whatever, but it's kind of sometimes I say that what we do and what I think is done in a lot of like thrash metal or
yeah,
punk or more
yeah,
extreme music is
yeah.
what you might call like hippie music in
Mhm.
reverse. Some of it is like if this old protest music would be like, how great is it if we
Yeah,
had peace
yeah.
and love? And this music says, we don't,
No.
and it expresses something of that,
Yeah,
I think,
but
which I do feel because, it's it's just like a terrifying thing to look at. It's not some solved problem. It's not
Yeah,
something in the past either.
yeah, yeah.
It's more worrying than ever because civilization's bigger and more powerful than it
Oh
ever
yeah,
has been before. So,
yeah,
so if
exactly.
that power is used to destroy, it will be more destructive than before.
Yeah, exactly. Sadly, exactly. Yeah, but remember in the 90s, in hip hop music and metal music, there was a sticker in the records for people who bought records on the CD. There was a sticker, explicit lyrics. You know, remember the cover,
Yeah, yeah.
and Slayer, hip hop music, etc. And personally, I bought especially this, and because it attacks me, but it was an association of the parents to protect the young kids against dangerous music with this sticker, explicit, dangerous, explicit lyrics. You remember? And
Yeah,
Slayer, for
certainly.
example, Slayer and Pantera, etc.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, sure, that's a sticker they made. You could say all kinds of things about that. I don't think we've ever gotten it, but maybe we
Yeah,
should have. I don't,
yeah,
there's not a lot of like profanity on there, but it's just about like horrible stuff generally.
yeah.
So, maybe you should protect kids from that. However, I think of all the things that ever hurt kids, even the nastiest music is pretty
Yeah.
low on the list, you
It's
know?
it's a contrary. When it's forbidden, you want to get it. In fact, it's in general. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
and to conclude about that, about the name, do you have, for example, Napalm Death has still problems to travel and to play live in Vietnam, seriously, huh? And Vietnam country. And some bands, Cannibal Corpse has problem in Germany to tour sometimes. Do you have some problems to play live in some tours in some countries?
Almost never.
No?
Actually, only once ever have we had any problems with that. Where we got a show, I think we were playing with Meshuggah
Ah, yeah.
at House of Blues Disney, because there's a House of Blues in
Ah, yeah.
Anaheim, California, that's on Disney
Disney
company
World. Disney World.
property,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Okay.
we were canceled from that because of the
Oh,
name and themes.
uh,
Other than that, it's like if you book us, you know what you're getting, and you're
okay.
okay with that,
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, I remember that in France, Within Temptation played, but Within Temptation is more soft.
Right.
Play that in Paris in Disney Disney Europe. Okay, let's speak about the new stuff. So it's called Wrath and Rune. How did you compose it? Personally, the last time I saw you live, it was just the show in at Motocultor Festival. You were at the sound engineer tent, relax. 30 minutes before the show, I come to you, I take a photo with you, I talk to you. It was 2 years ago, something like that. And two or
Hmm.
3 years, I think it was not before the show. There was nobody in the pit, and after it was a war in the pit. 30 minutes after, during your show, it was amazing in France, so at the Motocultor Festival, and that's for me live. It's another level. When we can listen to the new stuff. Do you remember this show in France, Motocultor Festival in France?
I sure do. We've played this festival twice. It was
Yeah,
fantastic
yeah,
both times.
exactly.
Yeah, would love to do it again. Both times it was excellent. We did it on Woe to the Vanquished and Weapons of Tomorrow cycles,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the French bands were killer. And I think I recognized you from because I saw your shirt and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
So,
yeah. It was
so that's
good.
why it's nice to see it because your face looked familiar.
Yeah, I take a
So yeah.
photo. I remember I take a photo with you and the bass player and the one guitarist. And so I asked you about that because did you compose this new album on tour? Are you able, you personally, to write lyrics or to compose songs when you are on tour in the tour bus between two shows,
Oh,
or not?
almost
Or
never.
not at home? At home, you prefer at home?
Usually at home, we can like it's not like no one's ever come up with an idea on tour, but
Okay.
we've never composed a full song on tour or
Oh,
anything, not
okay.
once. Some of the stuff that I have for this record, I did
Yeah.
share or like think, I had it in my head, and then on
Ah,
the tour, I continue to think about it and come up with different ideas for it. But and like share it with my bandmates. We talk about new music and music we would write and stuff on tour. But most all the writing is at home. On tour, we are just getting through the day. It's a
yeah,
grind on
yeah,
tour for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. And you make promotion during the tour? No, you don't make promotion interviews. Uh,
Yeah, we do.
if you're not tired, if
But
you're
we'll
not
do it
tired,
all. Everything they want us to do, we'll do it.
the
So I'll do interviews and stuff before a lot of shows. It's fine. Yeah.
The problem is time. In general, it's time. It's the timing. The problem
It's
is
time. Well, it's energy
yeah,
too.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
if you
yeah,
have to, it's playing the show every night and then hauling your ass to the next one and kind of just doing this loop of load
yeah,
in,
yeah,
set up, make sure you're okay, check the voice, eat
yeah,
something,
yeah,
you know, like it's just that over and over. And if you're really serious about your performance, you have to do all that. I have
yeah.
to drink a ridiculous amount of water all the
Yeah.
time, and there's just all this and like stretch and
Sport.
all this
You
boring
make sport. You
stuff.
make sport. Sport maybe before sport.
Sport,
Sport.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do some, you
yeah.
know, you
Before
know that.
before the show. Before the show to warm up. To warm. No.
Oh yeah, yeah, you do all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's your whole day is
Yeah.
just like you
Yeah.
get there and then you get ready for the show, then you
Yeah.
play the show,
Yeah.
then
Eh,
and then you do it again.
it's a
And
sport.
so it's a lot of
Okay.
so usually anything else, and sometimes too, that routine becomes very comfortable. So I
Yeah.
start to not like doing anything that changes my routine, you know, because I get
Ah.
used to
Yeah.
it. And so I
Okay.
just don't want to do anything else because I'm focused
Yeah.
on the show every night, and that's
Yeah.
just all I'm about. It's like it's the whole reason you're living at that time is for the
Mm.
show. You're not there for anything else. You have one job, and you better do it. Is kind of how
Ah,
I
yeah,
look
yeah,
at
yeah.
it.
Yeah, on stage you don't lie. Yeah, it's a true. Yeah, thrash metal is a sport. It's a sport
It is.
itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It kicks my ass. I have a permanent shoulder injury from doing it, and I still headbang. Like I'm gonna do it, you
Yeah.
know, until I can't. If I'm on a stage, I will be kicking my own ass up
Ah,
there
okay.
for
Okay.
sure. Like
Oh,
it's just what needs to be done. It's what the music calls for, and it's what the fans deserve. You know, they deserve a real show with high energy, and
yeah.
that high energy has to come out of you, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it does, and that's something I take pretty serious as a performer. You'll never see me not covered in
Yeah.
sweat at the
Yeah.
end of a show, you know,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah. Okay. And the people, I think the crowd responds in general to you, and that's an energy
Yeah,
communication.
they can
Like,
feel it.
yeah.
There's no faking
Yeah.
it. If you're up there giving your all, people can tell, and that's why you got to go and do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely, and that's why, like you were talking about the people, the way people react in the pit at
Yeah.
Motocultor, because
Yeah.
they feel the band putting out the heat. You know,
Yeah.
we're not just standing there; we're giving our all. And we get it back, and that makes us go even harder. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of a thrash metal show. That's why I love it so much because it's pure energy and adrenaline.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no matter how much the tour is kicking my ass or whatever, if people start headbanging and moshing, like my body doesn't hurt anymore. I'm good, you know?
Okay. Okay, let's speak more about the new album. So, Wrath and Rune. We can see the artwork. Who made the artwork behind you? And who is the artist who made the artwork? Maybe the same than the previous albums. And could you tell me more about? Is it a concept album, Wrath and Rune, and a very dark and powerful album? Huh?
Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be a very like dark and kind of grim and bleak record. The central theme of it, there's a bunch of stuff on there. We tried to write an interesting record. The central theme is what you'd call like class power, the lords against the peasants, but in a
Ah,
modern
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah,
So we're
yeah.
talking about the Middle Ages on the first song, but it's about that modern class divide, the lords and the peasants, something in the history of almost every country, but I think it's still around today, even though
Yeah,
we like to tell ourselves that it's not,
yeah.
right?
Okay, okay.
So that's what it's about. The artwork was done by the excellent Andreas Marshall from Germany, who's
Ah,
done our previous two records and
mm,
some other records he's done. He's done Sodom Age and Orange and Blind Guardian, Nightfall and Middle
yeah,
Earth. Those are
yeah,
two records he's done that I really love. There's more too. Just he's been around for quite a while. Great
yeah.
metal artist. And on all three album covers he's done for us, he has done Woe to the Vanquished, Weapons of
It
Tomorrow, and
was.
now Wrath and Ruin. He's come up with this monument looking thing.
That's a bit
And
Minas Tirith. It makes me think to Minas Tirith. Minas Tirith in Lord of the
oh
Rings.
yeah, a
A
little bit
bit
actually, which is the white shining city,
on the cast
and the cathedral aspect.
on a
Yeah. So
on
I
a
sent him the idea here was that there's like a shining city in the clouds, and then slums and ruins underneath, showing that kind of
yeah,
theme of the
yeah, yeah,
record.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Very
So,
nice
so
idea.
it's kind of like you might compare it to today to how we have some like billionaires that are going to go live in space and leave the dying planet to the rest
Okay.
of us or something
Ah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm thinking of stuff like that when we write this record. So
Okay.
that kind of thing, and so it's a mixture of some historical stuff with like cathedrals and castles, but
Yeah.
also some dystopian science fiction, like your
Yeah.
Blade Runner or
Yeah.
Neuromancer or something. Kind of all of that together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a bit like Interstellar movie. They have a plan to put the people, some people, a part of the planet in Interstellar movie. You know?
Oh yeah, the film
Yeah,
Interstellar.
yeah,
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 that
yeah,
was a
yeah.
cool movie for
Yeah,
stuff. But
and
yeah,
the plan is to put the people, some people of the planet in space in another to make colonies, but most of the people will stay on Earth and they will die.
yeah, yeah, that kind of thing is that kind of idea, that
Yeah.
sort of dystopian science fiction idea is in the ideas of the record because I think it has a relevance to what we see in the world now and where we might go in the future.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Alors, so is it you who wrote all the lyrics of the new album? It's you are the singer, but it's you who write all the lyrics?
Yes.
Like usual, not the guys, not the other guys.
They give input and ideas, but I wrote pretty much everything. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And yeah,
Lyric wise, Carlos Cruz was the main composer and songwriter on the
yeah,
instrumental level, and we worked together. We would actually often start with the lyric. I would say, here's the name of the song, here's the idea, here's the way it should feel, here's some musical you can
okay,
reference for it, and here's maybe a chorus line or a verse, a part
okay,
of a verse, or I want to have this line said this way, and I record a couple things. And then he would go write a whole song or like half a song. I would come back, finish the lyric, and then we would finish the song. So it was
okay,
very interesting cooperation. That's how we've been working for a
okay,
couple records now.
okay. And there are 8 tracks in the Wrath and Ruin album. 8 tracks, if I'm right.
Yes.
Yeah, not too much, but alors, so tell me more about the song, the single track, The Sword and the Cross. Is it in relation with the order of the Templars in Europe in Middle Age?
It's kind of about the Middle Ages. It's trying to draw a comparison between the Middle Ages and
No,
today.
yeah, okay,
Of there's lords and
yeah,
and it's the Lord who's speaking,
yeah,
and to him you the listener are nothing. You're just a fucking peasant, and he owns you, and he'll do it with violence, the sword, and he'll do it with ideology, the cross.
yeah,
People had this deep faith that it was I'm not religious myself, but people in the Middle Ages and today have this faith to help them deal with their own mortality, life and death, and the way the church has been tied in to power, to the monarchy or to the
yeah,
czardom or whatever you like, is a way for the lords. They own those peasants' souls in a manner of speaking.
yeah,
And today it isn't so much the church, I think, but I would say it's more the advertisements and subliminal propaganda around you everywhere
mm,
that is the cross of today, if you will.
oh,
So
yeah,
the idea is the Lord uses the two tools, violence and ideology, to control you, and you're going to accept it. And you think that God chose him, and he's laughing at you,
okay, okay,
And at the
okay,
end of the song, he goes, "All right, peasant. And so I used to do it that way in the Middle Ages. Now I'm in a skyscraper, not a castle. And I own you still, and my children will own your children. And when I'm dead, I'll own you anyway." And
okay, yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
I
yeah,
wrote the end part. I wrote that
yeah, yeah,
first. That was the first thing on the whole album that I wrote. And so
okay.
that really set the tone for the whole album.
Okay. Yeah, we can see at the end the guy in the video, etc. Video song. I will put the link in the description and in this video at the end. Yeah, we can see the guy. In nowadays in the city, modern city. Yes, with the symbol already.
Yeah, it's
Also with
symbol of the
the
owning
cross.
class, the
Yeah,
owners rather than the
yeah,
workers, like the people who right now I think there's less than 80 people, 80, that control more
yeah.
wealth than the lower 4 billion.
Okay,
So if
okay,
that's
yeah,
not lords and peasants, tell me what is?
okay. There is a song more.
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of talking about. I'm using the
Yeah,
Middle Ages as a
yeah,
window to talk
yeah.
about today.
Okay, there is a song a bit more melodic and more slower. Throw a glass darkly.
Yes.
I like it very much. It's different, more heavy thrash stuff. Could you tell me more about that? And after, could you tell me more about the second disc record, which will be in bonus CD. I don't have it
Okay.
with live stuff. But yes, Through a Glass Darkly, the song, I like it very much.
Through a Glass Darkly is actually, so if you, I'm into my old war movies and stuff, and one of them is called Patton, about the U.S. general from World War II. In
Yeah.
that film,
Yeah.
there's a part where he goes and talks about reincarnation. He's in North Africa in the 1942-43 campaign against Rommel, and he turns the Jeep off to the side to this empty field, and he's like, over there were the Romans, and they deployed like
Ah,
this, and
okay.
over there were the Carthaginians, and they fought this way, and here's how it all went down. And I know because I was there
Ah,
2,000 years ago. I
okay.
was there.
Okay.
And that scene was the coolest scene from that movie. And as it turns out, the real guy that the film's about, George Patton, an
Yeah.
actual US World War II general, one of the best tank commanders that the US had,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, he wrote this poem called Through a Glass Darkly about reincarnation. And it's
Okay.
really interesting because in
Okay.
there, he talks about being like a hunter in the Ice Age who speared a mammoth, and he marched with Alexander, and he rode with Napoleon, and all of this stuff. He rode under Marshal Murat, he even says. So he's in the cavalry, I guess. And there's all this different time where this guy, apparently he really thought this, that he had lived and died as thousands of different warriors throughout time, and George Patton was just the thousandth face of that eternal warrior. And I thought that was really cool. And so I wrote a song about it, and the song draws, it's
Okay.
just that poem as music. That's what the lyric is.
Yeah, in the middle of
My
the
favorite,
album. It's in the middle in the
yeah,
album.
it's a cool
Okay.
one. It's more contemplative of time and legacy and themes like that. My favorite line, and this is straight out of the poem too, is he describes he says that he stabbed Jesus. He was the Roman legionnaire Longinus who stabbed Jesus
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Gotha.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he
Yeah.
also was a bunch of Christian soldiers who died while praying to that same God. And I'm like,
Uh,
that's fucking heavy. That's a good rhyme.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
line is in verse two of the song. I just took
Yeah.
that line almost verbatim from the poem and was able to get it in there. So really cool. And sometimes I like to just draw on a piece of literature or thing and just write it very direct. I don't know, like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner or something.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is another song I like it. I like it, but it will be my conclusion soon. But a better world. So can we hope so there is a hope, but to a better world? But it's a
Well, the point,
second track only.
the,
Uh,
the song is very sarcastic and cynical. The idea is that the singer sees that the world's going to shit around him, the environment's collapsing, and that he's got no future. And
okay.
he's saying, I can't even dream about it before I'd have to be so naive to even believe in it. So I'm gonna just numb myself with drugs and get on with it
Yeah.
and try not to think about it. That's what that song's about.
I
So it's
like.
about sort of the modern spiritual disease, if you will, because we have more, like we have all this wonderful technology and stuff
Yeah.
we can do. I'm talking to you in France right now. That's really cool, modern stuff. But people are depressed and people are
Yeah.
not hopeful about the future because you see the bigger problems in the system of our planet and civilization, and you know it can't continue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, and
It,
so, but you
it,
still have to show up to work on time. So you don't have time to
yeah.
think about that
Yeah.
because the fucking rent is
Yeah.
due.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what that song's about. Yeah.
Do you remember at the end of the movie? Excuse me, also speak again about Interstellar from Christopher Nolan. But at the end of the movie Terminator One, Sarah Connor writes with a knife, "No fate." No fate.
No
No
fate. Oh,
fate for
is
humanity. For
he?
humanity, she with a knife. She on a table. She writes, "No
No
fate."
fate. Hey, there is no fate. So hope when I make a grim prediction, I hope to be wrong. I'll just
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
And tell me more about the live stuff because there is an edition in CD and bonus, a second bonus with the 15 tracks, live tracks of Warbringer.
Oh,
It's
well, basically that was done by Bob Bresink, who is our sound man, and he'll be our sound man this summer as well, for the Ravaging Europe tour in 2023 or 2024, I think. I
but
forget which.
maybe at Motocultor There is a track maybe.
Yes, that's possible actually.
Okay.
So they're drawn from a different range of dates. I think it's actually listed where they come from.
Okay.
But basically, he recorded all our shows of this whole tour, and we put together some recordings from there and just released them as a second disc for like the deluxe edition of the record, I think.
Yeah.
And so people have been asking for live material from us. We got a killer live band and a great live show, and so we got some pretty good sounding audio from there that you can check out and kind of get a feel for what the show's like and how the band sounds. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it was some tracks were recorded in Nantes in France.
Nantes was a killer show.
Yeah, you remember? Okay, so not far away from Motocultor, but good. And it was okay. And all was that, so it was mastered at Sterling Song. Okay, just a few words also about, I know maybe you are busy, but the album Worth and Wound was produced by Mark Lewis. I know him because he produced Chimera. I was a fan of Chimera. Chimera, Mark Lewis, can you tell me more about his work on the new stuff as producer, sound engineer?
Yeah, well, first thing, so Mark Lewis did a great job, and I think you can hear that right away on the sound and production of this record.
Awesome.
Everything sounds big is the main one. Furthermore, we got all the sounds you hear, that's real drum and amp tones. We spent days on both of those. So we didn't shortcut anything. We got killer sounds out of the performances, and that's what you're hearing on the records. And we spent multiple days on both the drum and the guitar sounds that you hear here. So it was pretty he was pretty meticulous like that. The guy had a great sense of humor and was a lot of fun to work with. We got really stupid with our jokes, which I always enjoy. Overall wonderful job. One of the things we wanted to do was we changed producers. Mike Plotnikoff had done an amazing job on the previous two records as well. But we wanted the record to sound different. So one of the things we did was change some of the personnel we were working with, because we knew that the sound would come off different as a result, and it did. So great job to Mark Lewis, and it was a great opportunity to work with him.
Okay, and the album was mastered by Justin Schurz at Sterling Stone Studio.
Yes. And that was someone I believe Mark chose, and Mark really carried through the production of the whole record down through the mixing and mastering as well. He was like, my name's on this, and he was with us on the project. So I really liked that about the whole way he handled it. And the master sounds great, I think.
Where is Mark Lewis now? Because he moved. In the past, he was in, I don't remember, but now he's in Florida. Mark Lewis, no?
He's in Tennessee. We were in Hendersonville, Tennessee, which is near the city of Nashville.
He moved in the past, I remember. Okay, I remember the Cannibal Corpse, all stuff. Okay, to conclude, what are the plans for Warbringer? Maybe new video coming for new singles, and when can we hope to see you live in Europe?
Well, so we have 2 tours booked in Europe. The third single, Through a Glass Darkly, is going to come out probably before this interview is released.
I didn't know.
So that video is coming out very soon.
I didn't know. Okay.
It'll come out about the time the album releases. And we have 2 tours in Europe. I believe both of them go to France. And we just go throughout most of Europe on both of them. They're both about a month long. We have one with Carnation, Cryptopsy, and Decapitated. So it's a really cool death metal tour, mostly with us thrashing it up on there.
Thrash!
It's a good tour.
You play as support band or headliner?
Support band. We're second of 4 on that.
Okay.
And then we have the summer, where we play some shows with Creator and Rodenkreis, as well as we play many different festivals, including Wacken. We play Bloodstock in the UK. We play Summer Breeze. We play many others. So it's really cool, and we're really looking forward to it. There might be more tours later this year, but right now we have 3 months of touring announced. So that's quite a lot. So we're going to get to that.
Okay. I come back to France, please. Come back to play to France.
I believe we are on both of those tours. So I think we'll be in France in the spring and in the summer. I don't have every show memorized.
No problem.
So many, but you can find them online, Napalm Records or Warbringer Music or Warbringer social media and our websites and everything. We have it. As well as any of the other bands that I mentioned on it, they will have the same dates.
No problem. I will put the links in the description of your contacts, Facebook, Instagram, of course, and the link of the video. And it's fun. It's weird because I asked you about this song darkly darkly glass dark excuse me
Yeah, through a
the,
glass
yeah,
darkly.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we liked it too. And with the three singles, we really just wanted to show the range of the record and all the styles it covers. So all three of those songs are very different. I think every song on the record has kind of its own
Yeah,
identity.
yeah.
So I really hope
Oh
the
yeah,
listeners listen to the whole thing and see what your favorite is, and
yeah.
hopefully we can play it live for you.
This album is awesome, very strong, eight strong tracks. I have to listen to them again, to better know them. But very good. Congratulations with this new album. Is a killing album. Very good.
Thank you very much, man. I do
Oh.
appreciate it, Fred.
I let you, John, chatty boy. Sorry. So bye bye. Take care and good luck with this album and see you live on tour. And thank you for this interview.
Thanks to you, and thanks to the Metal Observer and all the readers and everything. We hope you guys dig Rack F and Ruin. We'll see you from the stage.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Bye bye.
Take care.